For this video, we'll be virtualizing Windows Server 2022 on Proxmox VE. So here we are back in the dashboard. As you can see, I have a Windows 11 VM, which is the very first VM I created back in my previous video. The two ISO files needed for this installation, namely Virt.io and Server 2022, are in here already. You can check the entire process from that previous video, how I uploaded these ISO files, and I'll put that in the description. Now we can create this VM two ways. One, by right-clicking this Beelink name and select Create VM, or by going to the top right corner with this Create VM button. I'll use this one for now. When I click Create VM, it goes to this first General tab. But before we'll proceed further, I just want to show you a guide from Proxmox site for the best practices when installing Windows Server 2022. You can also find in here a link to download the Virt ISO file. I'll put the link for this guide in the description. Now back in the General tab, we'll just select Beelink here. VM ID, we'll leave it as 101. I'll name this as Server 2022. For the resource pool, there's nothing to select here. We'll just proceed to next. Under OS tab, we'll select the Server 2022 ISO file. For the type, we'll select Microsoft Windows version 11/2022. And we'll check this box, add additional drive for Virt.io drivers. And we'll select that Virt ISO file. And we'll just go on next. Under System tab, for graphic card, we'll leave it as default. For machine, I'll leave it as Q35 BIOS UEFI. And add the local storage for the AFI. For SCSI controller, we'll select Virt.io SCSI. And we'll check this box, QEMU agent. We'll add the TPM storage. We'll select the local storage, local LVM. And we'll leave version 2.0. And we'll go next. Under disks, for the bus type, bus device, we'll select Virt.io block. For storage, this will be the local LVM. The disk size, I'll make this a 64 gig. For the cache, I'll select write back. And this card, let's check this one. I will go next. Under CPU, I'll make it 4 cores. The type here, I'll leave it as it is. I will go to next. Under memory, I'll leave it as 4096, 4 gig. Under network tab, bridge is the only selection here, VMBR0. Model, I select Virt.io para virtualized. And let's click next. So this is a summary of what we have configured. We'll just click finish here. If you look at the top left corner, we can see a new entry for the VM we just created. This is the Server 2022 as we name it. Under task, we can also see a log entry description for this VM. I'll just minimize this for now. We can go to the hardware section of this VM to double check the specifications. And we can edit one of these by double clicking. If you need to change the, for example, the memory or by clicking the edit button. There are three ways of starting this VM. First, we can click the start from here. Second is by right-clicking the VM and select start. Lastly, going to console, and we can click start now button. This is the preferred way, especially for installing an OS, so that I can catch the message when to press a key to boot from the mounted ISO image from the virtual CD/DVD. Okay, we reach the installation screen to start the setup. We'll click next and we'll click install now. I'll select I don't have a product key for now and click next. For the OS selection, I'll go with Server 2022 Standard with desktop experience. I will proceed to next. We'll check this box to accept the terms and we'll click next. On the screen, we'll select custom install. As you can see, there is no disk drive detected. This is exactly the same behavior when I install Windows 11 from my previous video. All we need to do here is to load the VirtIO driver mounted on that CD/DVD drive. We'll click browse and we'll select the D drive where the VirtIO driver is mounted. We'll look for the AMD 64 folder. We'll expand this one and look for the folder 2K22. And we'll select that and click OK. Now the driver is detected. We'll go ahead and click next. After loading the driver, the disk is detected now. We'll be able to complete the installation then. We are now prompted to set up a password for the built-in administrator account. We'll complete this one and click finish. Alright, let us log into Windows Server 2022. To send Ctrl-Alt-Delete to this VM, we'll expand this clickable No VNC button located at the side. Select Show Extra Keys button and click the button for Send Ctrl-Alt-Delete. If you look at the bottom right corner where the network icon is located, it shows that it's not connected. When right-clicking on it to open network and internet settings and going to the adapter options, there is no Ethernet nor LAN adapter. When I open Device Manager, these three devices have an issue with the driver. I could manually update the driver from here, but there is an easy way to install all drivers. We just need to go to the CD drive where the VirtIO is mounted, and we'll look for the file name virtio-win-gt-x64. We'll double click this file to run the VirtIO driver installer setup wizard. We'll proceed to next. Check the box to accept the terms and click next. So these are all the drivers that we can install. I just leave it as it is, and then we'll click next. And then click install. If you notice at the right side, it detected the network now, so we can click on yes here and finish to complete the installation. So back in Device Manager, we can see all the drivers are installed properly, and we can see at the bottom right we have internet access now. If you go to the network connections, we can see the Ethernet network is available here. We can click on details to check the IP address, and we can see that it took a valid private IP address from my network. There is one more thing that we need to run, which is the guest agent, so that the host and guest OS can exchange information. I'll jump to the summary section to show that it's not displaying the IP address of the Windows Server guest OS, and here it says guest agent not running. To fix this, we'll go back to that CD drive where the VirtIO is mounted. And we'll look for the folder guest-agent. We'll click this folder and select the file QEMU-GA for x64. After that's done, let's go back to summary, and we can now find the IPs assigned to this guest OS. The IPv6 link local IP address and the IPv4 IP address. When clicking more, it will also show the MAC address. I'm going to shut down this VM and remove the mounted ISO files on the virtual CD DVD. After that, start this VM again and verify that everything is fine. That's it for this video. If you find this video helpful, please consider subscribing. In the next video, we'll continue to add more VMs. Take care and see you on the next video.